Hello, hello, and welcome, my beautiful, gorgeous men. Welcome to live Q&A in my lingerie. I'm coming to you live from Los Angeles. My dream is one day to be the Tony Robbins of intimacy. I don't think I've ever publicly said that before. Yeah, I love this. This is my calling. So that's me just preparing for my dream of when I come on the stage and it's like, Arica, Angelo. I don't know how they would introduce me, but I just love intimacy. I love helping people connect with themselves, with one another. It's what I was born to do. So welcome. You know what? We today are talking about a really, really juicy topic because I know a lot of guys, when a woman leaves a man, it is heartbreaking. It's earth shattering. You may not say that, but it's what you feel. It's the unspoken of when you go to bed at night. And it's like it hurts when a woman loses you, when you lose a woman and when she's walked away. So we're going to give her a reason to regret losing you. But I want to preface it by saying this. Some of you might be watching this and you're like, revenge, welcome to hell. I'm going to give it to this woman. That's not really the goal. Because you know what they say about unforgiveness, right? Have you heard this? Have you heard this? I don't know if you've heard this about unforgiveness, but unforgiveness is like drinking poison, hoping that the other person dies. It don't happen. Don't happen that way, okay? So we're going to talk about how to make her regret losing you, but ultimately the thing is you are the ultimate prize. And I can't tell you guys this enough. I know men don't hear this enough. I know men are like, "Oh, women we've been inundated with that women are the ultimate prize." People are the ultimate prize. Whether you have a vagina, whether you have a penis, people are the ultimate prize. And so yes, I do believe that men are innate pursuers. You are penetrators, and I love you for it. But people are the prize. But here's the thing, you going on a quest to make her regret losing you is about you being in a place where you get your power back. And what do we mean by getting your power back? Meaning, oh, I love that. Someone just said unity is the prize. Oh my gosh, that is so brilliant. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing is, it's like, it's getting you to a place where you feel powerful, which powerful for you is where you feel loved again, where you feel wanted again. So let's just talk about this. How do you make a woman regret losing you? I have been sharing this for a very long time, which is when a man upgrades himself, a woman looks back and she goes, did I just make a huge mistake? Let me say that again. When a man upgrades himself, it makes a woman look at him and go, what have I done? What mistake have I made? I remember being in a relationship, and I remember the person that I was in a relationship with, there was an ex-wife involved, and she said, whatever you've done with him, I could never do. And she said, he's a better man now that he's been with you. And you could see the sense of loss in her face, which I believe that relationships are two ways. I don't think it's like singular. I don't think it was her fault or anything. I think people, for a lack of skills, can't make relationships work. But I could see in her eyes the regret of losing him because he had become a better man. And so for you, when you upgrade yourself as a man, she is like, I really screwed up. So how do you do that? One, let's just make it very easy. Let's talk about it on a practical level. When a guy gets in shape, when he starts taking care of himself, which my challenge to you is, why weren't you doing that all along? Why did it take a breakup for you to get there? But whatever. People use all sorts of things to incentivize themselves to become better people. So if that's what you're using, then make it work for you. But upgrading yourself on a very physical level, dressing better, grooming consistently, um, getting into shape, like all these things are an upgrade, right? And these take tons of willpower. It takes a lot of concentrated effort. And I know that some men use that as fuel, when they're on the treadmill, it's like, she's gonna regret losing me. But ultimately, when you lose a woman, now, mind you, I just said that relationships are twofold, so it requires both people. So it's not typically one person's fault. But when a man loses a woman, typically it's due to a lack of emotional capacity to communicate, connect, be consistent with showing up for her heart emotionally. Now, most men have not been equipped to do this, which is why I'm here, which is why I have this YouTube channel to give men skills that they've never been given, that society has said you shouldn't have those skills. Those belong to women. Now, as we evolve and we go, okay, well, let's do some math here. A lot of relationships fail over what? Communication. Okay, so yeah, this isn't just a skill for women. I have to learn this for myself if I'm ever going to be successful in a relationship. And so for you, it's growing yourself, your inner man. I think men are really good when you get focused on growing yourself on the outside. And I see men busting their asses in gyms, and I'm like, that hot body only lasts for so long. But when you guys start having challenges, when she starts opening up and sharing her wounds, when she wants to be celebrated and you don't have the capacity to show up for her, that's going to get you every time. And so I'm here to forewarn you guys, and also to whet your appetites, to say, developing that internal man is what's going to keep a woman. Now, how does she regret losing you when this happens? When she hears your friend saying, man, Johnny, Robert, Perry, Pedro has been, he's a totally different guy, man. He's just so real. He's so honest. He's so raw. He's so communicative. He's becoming that kind of person that people are starting to open up to. Man, he doesn't really take shit from people anymore. They may not use the word boundaries, but he's not taking shit anymore. He's got better boundaries. A man can only come to that by facing himself, by holding a mirror to himself and going, I've built the guy on the outside. Now I'm building myself on the inside. So let me just show you the opposite of that. And let me just finish with that statement of, when a woman hears that and she goes, shit, he didn't do that in our relationship. I wonder what changed. Wow, if I had just maybe showed up differently with him, maybe we would have had a chance. Shit, he had so many good things going for him. Shit, I regret not staying and encouraging one another to work through our stuff instead of just bailing. So let me give you an example so that you can kind of relate. So what if you met a woman, which I hear a lot of you guys do, you meet women on um, dating apps, and then you get in person and she's just like got so much makeup. You're not sure what's real. Like, you're not sure if the eyelashes are real, if the nails are real, if the breasts are real, if the face is real. And it's just like, wow. So imagine you get with a woman and she's beautiful on the outside. But then as you start going on date after date with her, you realize she's horrible to the waiters wherever you go. She's disrespectful to the doorman. The entire time on the date, all she does is talk about herself. She doesn't even acknowledge your presence. It's just myopically about her. You're going to think, screw the outside. Screw the fact that, you know, she looks great on the outside. Her inside is going to destroy me if I stay with this woman. She's going to create a hell of a ride for me that's not going to be enjoyable. It's the same thing for a woman when she looks at a man who all he does is invest in himself externally, but he's never faced himself the internal man. It's the same exact thing. So you could go to the gym, you could get bigger muscles, you could lose weight, and she could see all that and still not regret losing you because she goes, yeah, he looks good on the outside, but he's still an asshole. He's still shut down. He still doesn't know how to be tender with me when I bring up sensitive things. He still doesn't know how to affirm me when I have a big win in my life. When something great has happened, he doesn't know how to give me affirmation. Okay, so he's great on the outside, but he's still an asshole on the inside. But when it gets back to her that this guy he's got boundaries, that he's starting to become an open book, that people really enjoy talking to him, that he's not afraid of himself and facing his demons, that he's becoming more courageous. It's like, shit, why didn't I make it work with that guy? Shit, why didn't I see this potential in him? Why did I bail so soon? Then she starts to regret losing you. So let me read your comments. And also, guys, if I know we're 12 minutes in, but if some of you are like, I don't even know where to begin on building the internal me, make sure you check out that emotional warrior program. It's, I think, to be honest with you guys, I think this program was a little bit, I don't think society was ready for this program. I think with what we're going through right now in this big awakening, I think this emotional warrior program that people are going to start having the capacity and the value for something like this. So if that's you, if you're like that deep that calls into deep, you're like, Arica, I have exactly what you're saying. I'm at that point where I realize I can't just keep polishing the outside. I've got to face me. I got to face my demons. I got to face the things that I'm running from. Let me tell you, that emotional warrior program is the best way to start. It's 8 video trainings and it goes week by week. And I share a lot of my personal story, which a lot of my personal story I don't share publicly, but I share it in this container. And I really help you guys reflect on why it's incredibly valuable to face some of the things that have come up to your past, from your past, why your heart matters, why the value of opening up to people and why you actually need people in your corner, what to do when life kicks you in the balls. How do you pick yourself back up? How do you restore yourself? And how do you do all of this through the heart? So if that's kind of where you're at, I highly encourage you to join that. And then it comes with my private Facebook community where I check in every week with you guys. And it's a life-changing program. So if that's where you are in your journey, make sure that you check that out. Ninja Wolf says, if I catch a woman who loved me cheating on me with some nobody, should I give myself an upgrade in order to be a better person than these phony couples who have no history compared to mine? Listen, when we're conscious, we always want to evolve. We always want to grow. We do this regardless, whether someone screwed us over or not. Jeffrey Silzer says, I will have to watch this when I get home at the gym. Love you lots. Love you, darling. Kill it at the gym. And I can't wait for you to come back and watch it. Hi, John Scott. Derek says, thank you for all that you do. I will be messaging you soon. Thank you, darling. It is so kind of you guys when you guys say thank you. It actually really touches me. I appreciate that. Every time someone says that, it really touches my heart. So thank you. Hi, Chris Lesser. Hi, Shane. Here we go. Love it. Red Dot says, hi, mistress. I like that. Alan. Hello, darling. Hello, Christian Skull. Hello, Ron. Harold. Red Dot, you're awesome. Thank you. Ron O says, I need forgiveness. I pissed off this woman. So you're here because it's the opposite. I always find this, and this is something I really encourage my clients with. When you've screwed up as a man or a woman, but I speak to men, so we're going to say men, that where you've screwed up, you go, hey, I did this. And don't generalize what you did. Say exactly what you did. I cheated on you. I lied to your face and I broke your trust. I told you I would never do that again, and I did it, and I was selfish. Really own what you did, put a name to it, and then say how it damaged her, it affected her, it hurt her. And you say, I am really sorry, and I take full responsibility for this. And these are the things that I am going to do to facilitate change. Because a smart woman will not just listen to this, she'll watch your actions. If she sees that you keep repeating the same thing, you can forgive a person. But when the behavior continues, then that's an issue that person has to work through. And you can't keep asking a person to continue to endure that. I like that. AOHT says, always think of yourself as a prize. Goes for both men and women. Absolutely. Hi, Jeff Ash. Hello, Fernando. Ooh, that's a good one. Robert says, my woman is so busy, she doesn't seem to need me. That's a great, great topic. And one thing that I always encourage guys with, like, this is part of being the emotional warrior. And this is something that I can't emphasize enough to men is when there's a problem in the relationship, men, you guys are brilliant for not talking about problems. Men, like, and whenever I have clients, like I remember I was the emotional warrior. I have a group coaching program around that. And I was telling the guys, I said, you guys will come up with every excuse in the book not to talk about things. And they just looked at me like, no, we don't. And I go, let me give you some examples. Does this sound familiar? It's just not the right time. I don't want to rock the boat. Things are going so well right now. I don't want to mess things up. She's got too much on her plate that I don't want to bring more pressure into her life. Like men will come up with any excuse not to just have the conversation, but that is not what the emotional warrior does. No, my emotional warrior men face things full on and they address topics and they don't wait for her to bring it up. They bring it up. So what I'm going to say to you, Robert, is sit your woman down and say, listen, I'm feeling like you're so busy in your life that you have no value for me. And that's starting to take a toll. And I'm wondering why I'm even here. What I would like to do, and share how you feel. And then from there, you always present a solution. What I would like for us to start doing is to start having a dinner date once a week where phones are not allowed. They're a no-go. We put them away and we acknowledge them once we're finished. I think we can give each other 1 hour a day. I believe that we are capable of doing that. But Robert, you address it head on. You share how you're feeling. You don't accuse. You don't say, you're so damn busy. That's not the way to do it. Anytime we approach someone that way, people naturally want to push back. So just say, hey, I feel like you're so busy. And it makes me wonder why I'm even around. And I would really like to change that. I would really like us for once a week to have just alone time, some dinner time together, and our phones are away and we're present with one another. I want you to do that. Perry Reese says, I feel so used. She always has, and her kids do the same to myself. I must have missed the first part, darling. Give me more information. Hi, LT from Texas. Pedro says, after a 10-year relationship, I found troubles engaging with other woman because my priority was with my ex. What are some things that I can do to start connecting to new people? The dating world has changed. Um, yeah, I mean, I think first you have to let go of that relationship on the inside, your ex. I mean, that's the past, and they're not going to help you create a brighter future. They're not going to get you what you want because if they did, then you would still be together, right? So one, you have to like that has to just go. In terms of connecting with new people, obviously we have apps that you can use, and I would say always find out like what social things are going on in your community. Are there concerts? Are there workout groups that you can be joining? Are there art shows? Are there wine clubs? Um, Find out where people are gathering and start becoming a part of a community. And if it's people that you don't resonate with, then change communities. You're never stuck. You can always change. But at the end of the day, I think we forget the very simplicity of we got to get around other people and be very vocal about it. Share with your friends, hey, I'm in a place where I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to meet someone new. Do you know of anyone? There's nothing wrong with that. AOT says the biggest thing is to bag a woman hotter than she is. Easiest way to make her feel regret and second guess herself is if she sees you with someone hotter. I don't know if I agree with that because, yeah, I think you would think that that would really trigger her, but I don't think so because at the end of the day, I'm not saying you are, but let's say you're an asshole. You're like, now she's stuck with that asshole. He's not my problem anymore. So she doesn't really regret that if you haven't done what I'm sharing with you. If you haven't faced this guy on the inside, she's gonna look at whoever the girl is, whether she's hot or not, and she's gonna go, she's got a pile of shit on her hands to deal with because that guy is a pain in the ass. She's not really gonna regret that. She's gonna go, whew, one person's trash, another person's treasure. Ron, oh, that was a good example. Build outside and now time to build on the inside. Absolutely. Scott says, YouTube just hid your comment. Scott says, hey, Arica, could you do a video on bringing another person into the relationship? For example, what are your thoughts on threesomes? Can they work? Here's the thing this is my personal opinion. In terms of open relationships and things like that, this is what I typically see because in Bali, it's really big. Most of the time, I see people who have a lot of trauma around committing. They've had abusive parents. They have parents. I had one person. She was really pushing me to learn more about that community, and I said, I'm more interested in supporting you with your trauma and getting resolved because you're terrified of relationships. I'd rather you face your demons than continue to put your body in situations that you get other people's energy put into you, and that just stacks on top of the trauma that you already carry. So a lot of times when we want to bring someone else, it's why? Because what we want, we're not getting in the relationship. And I think it takes a lot of courage to be able to address what you're not getting out of the relationship. Listen, some people are able to address those things and they still want to bring in other people. Um, I just have never seen it work out for those couples. I haven't seen one example. I think a lot of people like to bypass what's going on inside by having other bodies inside of them. Really, let's just face ourselves at the end of the day. Um, that's just my opinion. Let's see. Lance says classlessness is what it is. Oh, yeah, I think you're talking about the woman who just has no regard for anyone else but herself. Lance says, rare to find a smart woman well prepared for life's journey like you. I appreciate that. But you know what? I am starting to see more and more people becoming more conscious. So I personally think that people are evolving more now than ever. I think what we are going through as a society is forcing people to really face themselves. So I don't know. I see amongst men and women people really evolving. Wow, Michael Huggins. I'm actually gonna screenshot your comment because this means the world to me. He says, Uh, I've grown a ton since I found you 3 years ago. Oh, since I found you 3 years ago. Thank you. That is fantastic. I would love to hear how you've grown. That's powerful. Ainab says, love from India. Wow, welcome. Thank you for being here. Eric, you guys are so funny about my arms. I don't know what it is, but it tickles me. You said, dang girl, those arms are killing me. I really do appreciate the work you do. It definitely helps me and a lot of people. Thank you so much. Peace and love from Leander, Texas. Thank you so much, Eric. That means the world to me. Uh, Pradeep says, hey, Erica, please make a book comprising all your programs. That would be a lot because emotional warrior is a whole different journey than how to get a date or create and keep great conversation or compliments Bible. So, yeah, they each serve their own right. Thank you, Mr. Mega Guy says, Erica, you look great and sexy. Perry says, you always give excellent advice. Thank you. You're so welcome. Mr. Mega Guy says, love the top. Thank you. Ninja Wolf says, get your revenge from her. Like, do the goo prank on her that will teach her a lesson that she'll regret. I don't even know what that is. Hello, Brooke. Tobillion TV, is the only way to make a girl regret losing you is getting a more attractive girl? Is there another way? Tobillion, definitely watch this video from the beginning because I go into exactly how to do that. Pedro, you're so welcome. Hi, Christopher. Mark, 3 sums and Bali is big. I don't know what that means. Eddie says, could ask what attracted both to each other. Okay. David says, I have an unattractive reputation of being too much of a woman chaser. How do I show her I like I'm now becoming a better man? Ooh, this is great. I actually worked with a client about this because he was known as a player. And so the biggest way that you can show a woman that you're becoming a better man is to start opening up to her, sharing her heart, because at the end of the day, like, that's really what we thrive on with connection. Yes, we love sex. Yes, we love the chase. Yes, we love flirting. We love all of these things. But at the end of the day, when someone exposes their heart, that's how we get to see the real them. So what you're wanting is her to see the real you, not the old you. You do that by showing her who the new you is and addressing the problem head on. I'm a huge advocate of this, of addressing it head on and saying, listen, I know I've had this reputation of being this kind of guy, but this is why I've changed. And tell her why. Don't tell her I've changed. Like, no one wants to hear that. But when we hear someone's motive, why did you change? What was it inside? What was the epiphany that caused you to wake up? Start sharing more of these kind of things with her, and she'll start trusting you. Roger says, hey, Erica, Alexandra sent me here. Are you a friend of her? Who's Alexandra? You'll need to share her last name with me. He says, is it worth it to move to a place for a girl I like? I think it's worth going and visiting. And then I think that it's in terms of moving, you have to make sure that there are some foundational things like that. You have core values in place, that you both want to work and grow on the relationship. And what are your goals for the relationship? What's the commitment look like? I would have all those answered before you just take the leap and move. Replicant, that is a great question. Lovain, you're so welcome. Replicant says, but why make someone regret if you've moved on? And that is the key. Some people, it does take them a while to move on. And so not everyone moves on very quickly. So it's a person who, that's their journey of moving on, essentially, is what we're talking about here, who's still not there, but that is their process. But that is the ultimate goal. Clever Panther says, I don't know if this is helpful, but Erica, would you agree the worst thing for a woman is to be ignored? I think as humans, like, listen, we have a core value of being seen. And when we ignore someone, I think that it's actually, if we're doing it intentionally, and I know that some guys give that kind of advice, I think it's emotionally abusive. I think it's toxic behavior. I think it's very immature behavior. I think it's playing games, because if we have a core value to be seen and we go around ignoring one another, that's initially, you're intentionally just pushing pain on that person. And I know I'm taking it pretty deep, but that's really what's going on. Like, you have to call a spade a spade. AOHT says, Fair point, Erica, on the importance of doing the self-work, but don't you think also having a new attractive woman by your side helps validate those improvements? Like I said, yes, it totally can validate that. But if you're not showing up differently, if you're still the same person, if she still sees the heaviness in your face, then like I said, she's going to go, that's her problem now, not my problem anymore. Deepak, how do I get out of the friend zone? I've got tons of friend zone videos. Just type in YouTube, Arica Angelo friend zone, and you will have tons of stuff there. Roger says Alexandra Smith, from my friend from Bali, the one from Bali, the American girl. I'm curious. David, you're so welcome. He says that was great feedback. Brad B says, know your worth. You're the prize. Don't pedestalize her. Bring her into your journey, not the other way around. Adrian says, good evening, Erica. Are we close to ending the live stream? Yes, we are. Ninja Wolf says, is dating a businesswoman a bad idea to their focus on work? Depends on what you're looking for. It really depends on what you're looking for. That has to be about what you value in a woman. If you don't want someone who's as driven and you want someone who has more time to kind of hang out, then that may not work for you. Lovain says, how do you deal with someone who ignores or can't own up to their mistakes, especially when you're in love with them? You have to have a conversation with them. You have to say, listen, when you refuse to say I'm sorry, when you cover up what you've done, essentially what it does is it hurts me and it makes me feel like I'm not valuable, like I'm a piece of shit. And I know that that's not your intention to make me feel that way. So how can we start being more honest about what's going on here? Make sure that you watch this video and you write that down. Roger says, yes. Oh, I love Alexandra. She is a zest of life, that girl. I'm so glad that she referred you here. Guys, I hope that this helped you. You know, it is true. You guys are the prize. But listen, you can change everything on the outside, but if the old you is still walking around in new clothes, they're not going to regret losing you. They're just going to think, there they are, being the same ass that they always were. It's not worth it. And you owe it to yourself to face yourself on the inside. You don't have to run from yourself. You don't have to be afraid of yourself. You don't have to be afraid of your past. You don't have to be afraid of the things that caused you pain. You've already lived through it. Now it's time to face it. Guys, remember, you have what it takes. And in this moment, you are deeply loved. And if you're curious about that Emotional Warrior program, there's a link. Go check it out. Get started today. I can't wait to see you in that Facebook group. I love you guys so much. And you take care. See you next week. Bye, guys.